And so, we finally reached the third installment of the Kung Fu Panda series. And with it, for the first time, we will actually talk about the film's protagonist, Po. In the last two films, we spoke about the side characters such as Master Shifu, Ping, and the others. But today, in this final installment of the Kung Fu Panda series, Po is front and centre. This is because throughout the three films there has been one central theme that has followed Po. That is, who is Po? Where does he belong? Is he a son to a goose, the greatest martial arts fighter in all of China, or is the panda actually a panda? These are questions that plague the mind of Po. At points throughout his journey he has doubts whether he is any of them. From the failures in Master Shifu's training to the questioning of his own upbringing. Po constantly fights more mental battles than physical ones. And when we get to the end of Kung Fu Panda 3, Po gets his answer. He becomes his true self. No longer clouded by his identity crisis, Po is the Dragon Warrior, Po is the son of a goose, and Po is in fact an actual panda. That journey we see him follow is one that I believe a lot of us can take inspiration from. From the first movie, we see how the weight of being the Dragon Warrior, a title bestowed to him by the great Master Oogway, affects his mindset.
How's Shifu ever gonna turn me into the Dragon Warrior?
Po is normally a happy-go-lucky panda. No matter what obstacles is in his way, Po finds creative paths to overcome those barriers. Just as we saw when he couldn't get into the stadium to see the Furious 5, but his persistence to reach them fired him into the pathway of Master Oogway, who then chose him to be the next Dragon Warrior. And even with that pressure, Po seemed to be unfounded by it, shrugging off the attempts to make him quit by Master Shifu. In those moments, I saw a character that felt like he was too optimistic, that he had no brick wall to run through in order to reach that prestigious title of the greatest martial artist in all of China. But I was wrong. Po is inherently positive. It is what makes him such an endearing character, and that is why, in the very small moments in that first film, we see his vulnerability. That doubt creeping in that he is not meant to be the Dragon Warrior. There are little hints of Po's fear of failure, and we saw it early on in his training when he was procrastinating in hitting a fake enemy.
Come at you, snickety snake. Would you hit it?
He was so underprepared that even the smallest of challenges defeated him. But in true Po fashion, that failure and the many others that came after did not define him. Sure, it made him feel like he was not worthy, but it did not stop his belief.
I probably sucked more today than anyone in the history of Kung Fu, in the history of China, in the history of sucking.
And so, fighting through the criticism of those around him and through his own doubts, Po overcame his first identity crisis and became the Dragon Warrior. His second question came in Kung Fu Panda 2, where he discovers his true upbringing, that he was born in a village full of pandas like him, that he had a panda dad and a panda mum. This revelation literally stops Po in his tracks multiple times and clouds his judgment to the point he can't do his job of saving the people properly because those flashbacks to his past that he cannot remember haunts him. With that, the goose that brought him up and raised Po to be the panda he became no longer was a father in Po's eyes.
You're my son. Right?
A confusion that spreads as he ignores the inner urge to find out more about his maternal parents. Every time he gets a flashback, he dismisses it. For example, when Tigress confronts him about letting Master Shen escape, instead of telling her the truth, he lies and ignores his emotions.
Po, the truth. You had Shen. What happened?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Po fights a battle that he is losing. To compound his misery, the technique that he must learn from Master Shifu is one that needs a calm mind. But the frustration with the lack of knowledge of these flashbacks brings Po a lot of anger. In another small moment, Po is away from the others and his true feelings come out. No longer blissfully positive, Po takes out his annoyance on a wooden pole. We see him at his most vulnerable, but in true Po form, as soon as Tigress enters, he hides his true emotions. He hides his true feelings. It is only once he can finally confront the past and understand what happened to his parents can he truly move on and accept who he is. The answers clear Poe's doubts, and he understands that he is the only panda left. And though he may never truly know his maternal parents, he does have a dad at home waiting for him, probably holding a bowl of ramen. And so, Poe accepts that he is adopted and that he is okay with that.
I know who I am. You do? I'm your son.
Until his maternal father arrives in Kung Fu Panda 3. Poe's dad re-enters his life. At this point, Poe had a clear idea who he was, and that was the son of Mr. Ping. But with his maternal dad now there, Poe can finally scratch that itch he has always had and can understand what it truly means to be a panda. His dad takes him back to the village where all the other pandas reside, and from there he learns what it takes to live like a panda, how to eat more and roll down cliffs to get to places. And through that, Poe's inner feelings that he was meant to do things differently is highlighted.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential!
The outcast from the first movie, a panda that was not the same as his father or his peers, was now accepted as the panda he truly is. Not looked differently, not made fun of, but instead made to feel like he belongs. And don't we all just want to feel like we belong? Poe at first was not accepted within the Furious 5. He felt like he didn't belong within his dad's home, and because he thought there was no pandas left, he felt like he couldn't belong to anyone anymore. Poe had lost his true self. But once his self-doubts and his modelled identity becomes clear, once he realises that he is the Dragon Warrior, that he is the son of a geese and the son of a panda, does Poe truly become one with himself.
Am I the son of a panda? The son of a goose? A student? A teacher? Turns out, I'm all of them.
And that is a beautiful story that has been threaded through all three movies. And I take big inspiration from this chubby panda that at first I thought was kind of boring. We all want to be our true selves, and it is difficult to achieve that. And so we might not be like Poe and get all our answers, but we can learn from him, his determination, his optimism, and his endurance to keep going. To not fight those fears of an identity crisis. To keep pushing forward even though it may scare us or the answers might make us sad. We keep pushing. And when we do, with all the people around us that love us, then we can find solace in ourselves and find out who we truly are. For Poe, he is the Dragon Warrior. He is adopted. He is a panda. But most importantly, he is Poe.